Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Maria Martinez, your host. Welcome to Happy, Healthy, and Successful. Today, we have Debbi Dachinger with us. Debbi is a beautiful soul. I had the pleasure of working with her and getting to her personally. And one thing I love about Debbi is that she sees the beauty and magnificence in everyone. So welcome, Debbi. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow, that was such a nice intro. I appreciate that coming from you, and I think the world of you.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here today and for allowing me to meet some of the extraordinary people out there who are going to be watching and listening. This is exciting. It's a beautiful topic. It's an apropos topic right now. And it's very up for me right now, this idea of happiness. What I do out in the world, I'm a media visibility expert. That means specifically I'm a book writing coach. And I also take authors' books to a guaranteed international best-selling status. And finally, I teach spiritual messengers how to be interviewed on radio and podcast and get massive results. I do some very boutique publicity work, meaning I have a handful of clients that I represent and get booked on media. And I'm also a healer. So specifically a Peruvian Quechua, which is a language. Peruvian shamanic work is what I do. And I'm also a speaker and an author.
Beautiful, very powerful, very well-rounded as well. And I can see you as a platform for many of the healers that are ready to share the message with a very big audience. You as a huge resource, mentor, facilitator. So I appreciate you being here with us and sharing who you are. Earlier today, we were talking about really the theme of this summit, the inspiration that came forth to create and bring everybody together was to inspire hope. And hope shows up in many different ways and looks also in many different ways. And especially in this time, as we end this year and we move into next year, many of us do a life review or a review of how this year went. And sometimes we're very happy and we feel inspired to create more. And sometimes not so happy, but it's really how we relate to the situation, how we relate to what we've created. And really what I want to share with our audience is how to look at life from a viewpoint of possibility and how to be in gratitude of who we are and who we've chosen to be so that we continue to move forward and also continue to be that beacon, that way shower. So I wanted to ask you to share a little bit about, first of all, what is hope to you and how do you inspire hope with others?
Yeah, I think hope is a glimmer of something to hold on to, whether it's a belief, whether it's a piece of proof. And I think we create our own hope. I think when we trust ourselves, despite seeming obstacles, to say yes to things in life, experiences, programs, people, situations, moves, whatever is in front of us, when we get the how out of the way and we just trust, I have this feeling, I need to do this, I need to be this, I need to have this experience, I believe magnificent things unfold. I have absolutely seen that in my life. And that creates hope, right? Trusting, following those breadcrumbs, having that experience or situation or move or program, and then finding out, this was correct. I really needed to do this. And one's life starts to shift as we incorporate these new things. I think it's very easy to feel, especially for people who like to control, like me, that we can want to figure out all our steps and be really sure. I'm one of those people. Like, I'll look at something and research it and analyze it, and it's okay. I have no judgment with myself. There are many benefits to the fact that I do that. But I'm also learning to allow, that belly feeling, that those little bubbles you get on your skin when it's like, oh, I just want to do this, and forget the money and forget the time and forget all these things that seem like it's impossible. The hope is I can do this. The hope is this will work if I say yes. And then to say yes, and it's beyond hope what happens on the other side. I just think it massively restructures the blueprint and DNA of our life when we say yes to ourselves and our path.
Beautiful. I love that. I love how you see the world and live in the possibility and trust. And trust is the theme really for a lot of us, right? Because we, especially at growing up, we weren't always encouraged to or taught to trust ourselves. We would encourage to lead by others or whatever others' expectations or not just expectations, but stories. So when we were younger, we didn't always know how to trust ourselves. We didn't know how to believe in ourselves. And that's something for many people that we've broken through, learned to embody trust. And trust really allows us to know ourselves, really allows us to surrender, which is what you describe very beautifully. When you trust, you surrender. You don't need to control the process. You just allow yourself, you lean into it, and you move into that divine partnership. You do what you can do and you leave the rest, right? When you said, I just do it and then it all works out and you let go of the rest. And I feel like that's so important because we act from fear when we try to control. And if we could just let go of that fear and simply sit and trust in self-belief, then the hope, the possibility moves into expectancy, moves into certainty, and the fears and the doubts and the programming begin to fall away. So thank you for sharing that. So tell us why you feel so strongly about what you do, who you are in the world, standing a source for humanity.
What an amazing question. I feel so strongly because of the people I get to work with and because of the growth I get to witness. And I feel like it's very interesting to be an advocate for specifically spiritual messengers, healers, all of that, and what that is. Because most of us didn't have it so easy in other lifetimes. We were burned at the stake. We were belittled. We couldn't show our gifts because we could be killed or, some horrific things that most of us lived through. But we all agreed on a soul level to come back right now at this time, a crucial time on our planet, when we're at a crossroads about how are we going to create a new earth and a new humanity? Who are we going to be to one another and to ourselves? And it makes so much sense that spirituality, metaphysics, healing, channeling, UFOs, all of these subjects are becoming so mainstream right now. It is the conversation. And I believe it is because so many of us are here and so many are waking up. And so it feels like an unbelievable honor for me to see the strength in people, to see their gifts and why they came here and what they came here to do, and to help mentor them, whether it's through their book or through interviews or both, a modicum of different ways of them presenting themselves out to the world. But all of us light workers came here this time to sing our song out loud and do it successfully because we're the way showers. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this work, it looks like media visibility, right? But it's so much deeper than that. Mm-hmm. This is our time. Mm-hmm. And so people are popping and waking up and remembering, and whether you've been on this path for a long time or a short time, but it is a beautiful thing that you're a piece of the puzzle of why you came here right now. So that's part of it. And the other part of it has been about me accepting and understanding this part of myself as a healer. I've always had healers in my life, whether I worked with them or they were friends. That's my group, my core group. It's who I attract to me, to work with me. But for me to be called a healer was like a very strange thing. And I didn't understand it for a long time. It was a download I received multiple times, and was very gracious because they weren't going to let go. but it took years for me to understand what are you saying? And for me to explore, to start saying yes to things and experiences and classes and programs and putting myself out there so I could explore like where these are my passions. I don't fully understand it, but what's going on? And let's see what's there. And shamanically, specifically, that's been so powerful. And I don't feel like there's a lot of people out there with tremendous amount of gifts. I don't feel like, marketing says you got to choose one thing and choose it well. Mm-hmm. Good luck. A lot of us are hyphens, right? We are very gifted at many things. And so I'm not going to deny different pieces of what I am and offer. I just see it all as this beautiful marriage and unfoldment. And I also trust so deeply that as I bring these new pieces in, things will organically fall away just because they're not necessary. I am more and more right now speaking on stages and I'm being interviewed in some, notable places that would have been a dream for me at one point. And they're just happening. They're happening and coming and raising the bar. And so I just know my answer is yes. I don't have to figure out. I don't know. And I just want to give a little tip here for anybody who resonates with this, that, I have so many doubts. I have fears. I have can yous, what ifs, all that stuff comes up. But I've learned not to give it. I love it. I love it for being at the boardroom and having a voice, and I appreciate it. But I also know it's not going to take me off my path. It's not going to do that, period. This is also important, right? And if the goddess and the universe and the unseen feel like it's my time to have a voice, I'm going to step in and have a voice. And so here's my secret. I do the extra work, and I need to do it to feel ready for things. Now, obviously, once you start doing them over and over, you don't need that extra work. It comes more naturally and easily. But right now I need the extra work. And like you and I just came from an event in Mexico City. We spoke on a stage at, an event. And I was going into it talking about something I've never talked about before. And I really wanted to be prepared. It's important to me if I have an opportunity to do a good job. And so I did. I really practiced. I made index cards. I wrapped my brain around information to understand so I could be the best communicator. And I feel like it paid off. And for my next experiences, and there are new ones, they keep coming, I'm going to do the same. There will be action taken. There will be an investment. And then I know I have done my best, and I can sit back and relax and be in the experience presently.
Beautiful. So what I keep hearing underneath that is because I have to, because it makes me happy, because it's who I am, because this is what I'm being guided to do, because there's no other way, because I see the way forward, because I feel so fiercely, strongly, passionate about being this new version of myself. And every day I'm a new version of myself. So that's really powerful. And if you can hear that, the audience, if you can hear that, what Debbi's saying is believe in yourself, connect to what you love, connect to what makes you happy, listen what you're called to do and follow that, and trust it, and wake up every day and do it again. And feel, whatever you need to do to feel solid, to be in alignment with, what you described as that extra practice, do it, whether it's meditating, whether it's affirmations, whether it's prayer, whether it's a practice with whatever modality you feel comfortable with, do it. Do it to feel grounded. Do it to feel aligned. Do it to feel the connection and the love to what you're being called to do. And then do it again and do it again and do it again until it feels very natural. Beautiful. Thank you, Debbi.
Yes, I love what you're saying, because that's my practice. I have a morning practice, and I go outside every morning It's become, right? It also becomes. And the first thing I do, I don't know what I'm going to do in the winter, but right now I go outside and I put my feet in the grass because my relationship with the Mother Earth is one of the most important, loving relationships, nurturing relationships I have. So I connect right away with her. And then I have some shamanic practices I do. But when those practices are over, I hold intentions. I hold intentions for my day. I hold intentions for my life. And I am living right now a lot of those intentions that I made before. And the other thing sometimes I do is I create a magic ball, and into this beautiful, yummy magic ball, I put my dreams, right? All the dreams I have. And then I take that ball and I put it over and into me. And then when I'm done, I put it into the ground, into Mother Earth, because I want her to have some beautiful dreams too. So yeah. And I also, of course, give her a lot of healing light and love and respect because she needs all that. She needs loving, right? So that's my practice. I highly recommend a practice. And I know that you were recently trying to get me to get more still, more meditative. And I haven't forgotten that you say that to me. So that's part of it. Now I'm just incorporating a little bit. I have to go little pieces of stillness because I have a lot of energy. But when I do the magic ball or the intentions and the dreams, then I just sit there in it, just allow, right? Receive and allow. And then I know I'm good to go on with my day. I really recommend people have some kind of practice that's this besides all of what we do out here.
Right. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I feel like that's really important for us to ground into our intention, into our vision, into our manifestation, into the reality that we're creating for ourselves and for everybody around us. One, because it gets us clear on what we want and what we're up to, but also it creates momentum. It opens up doors. It removes obstacles. It allows what you just, what you said earlier about the fears and the doubts and insecurities to diminish because we're not focused on that. We're focused on just being in the moment and taking that one step at a time and then leaning into trust, leaning into our vision, leaning into our intention, and then allowing the momentum to keep moving us forward. So that's very beautiful and powerful. So I hope everybody's hearing. If you don't have an intention or a practice or a way of starting your day, these are very good suggestions. Debbi, can you share a little bit about your pivot point or your big aha when you decided, that's it. This is who I am. This is what I'm called to do. I'm doing this. There's no other way.
At first, everything I did was really about survival. It honestly was. I had a full-time job. Oh, so many people who knew about the job I had were like, oh, they just thought it was like something amazing. And I understand why. But it wasn't for me. It was actually soul killing. And then I left that job and I really did struggle because it's not like I developed an entrepreneur base. I didn't have like a lot of money coming in. I had like very little. So it was a lot of struggle in the beginning and just like, what can I do to make some money? And nothing I'd want to repeat. Right. It's kind of not the best position to be in. But what was also amazing about it is there was a woman and she knew I had been an author and she knew about the work I was doing. And she kept saying, she had a really, really very successful job around books. And she wanted me to come in. And I remember I'm always skeptical. I'm not that person who goes, yes, right away. So I would listen and listen to her and she saw something in me. And I always feel like those moments, it's an angel. She was so angelic to bring me in. And I'm so grateful. Eventually I got it and I said, yes, I put my toe in. And what I found this whole world that I was good at. I was really good at. And I loved teaching, still love teaching book writing. Mm-hmm. I love seeing what people come up with. And I did all these things that I still do. But the big pivot was when I had my human design done.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman who did my human design was explaining, it was pretty in depth. And I got a lot of ahas. And when she was saying, you're a 2-4 generator and you need to allow people to tell you what they need, and then you fulfill that need. And I was like, oh my God. I was able to look back on my life and see where all the struggle is because I was efforting. I'm going to launch this program. I'm going to do this for a living. I'm going to all that stuff. And it didn't work, right? It was a lot of time and effort and very little results. And when I let go and allowed other humans, frankly, to direct me. Now, just to be clear, nobody would ask me to do something and I would go, ugh, okay. No, I mean, it was really, I went, oh yeah, I could do that. Mm-hmm. It was a passion. They lit me up when they made that ask. Mm-hmm. And I saw everywhere I had been successful was literally on that through line where a need had been met. I have followed that ever since I learned this some time ago. So it was this huge surrender to my path. And now everything has been so effortless. And even a couple of years ago, one of my clients said, I want you to represent me and get me booked on podcasts. And I'm like, no, that is really hard work. I've done it before. I don't like it. No, thank you. And she said, yeah, you're the one. She's psychic and all this. And I was like, oh man, damn. So I told her, let's give it a few months because I know I'm a 2-4 generator. So we gave it a few months and it's so successful. She's been with me all these years. And other people, I never put out a shingle. I never said, this is what I'm doing. Other people came to me and said, oh, will you represent me? Will you represent me? And I'm like, this is amazing. So that really was the biggest just surrender. I think those were my 2 surrenders, was understanding how I operate in the world and how the world operates in conjunction to me, mm-hmm. and honoring that literal flow. So I wasn't going against, and then recognizing when somebody asks something to know discernment, is that a yes for me or a no? Can I do that? Because if I can do that, that feels really good. And that will bring in a lot of money and a lot of joy for both of us as work. So I would say yes. So following that. And then, the last piece is like really being open to growth, like massive growth, because all of us, we're going to get to a place and, there's no literal ceiling, but it'll feel like a ceiling, and then something will break free and things pour in. And then we must internally and externally say, yes, yes, I will. Yes, I can. Yes, bring that on. Because if we create all these dreams, then we have to be available for those dreams. And I always make sure with my dreams to say, and bring me, allow me to live in magic and miracles. So it's beyond even what I'm conceiving here or speaking, way beyond that. Because you, euphemistically, you are magnificent. Mm-hmm. So I am willing to live in magnificence right now. So I'm a yes. So I think that's the thing, is honoring our flow in life and where things present and how, and then knowing when to up level and step in.
Beautiful, beautiful. So honoring our flow, listening to our intuition, trusting, and knowing when to step in. Powerful. And I think that many of us have learned or are learning that along the way, to trust the thing that we talked about earlier, to listen to our intuition and not judge whatever the message is, or not question what we're listening, what we're hearing, just going with it and letting go. I too did my human design, and at the moment I don't remember everything, but what I do remember is that I'm also a generator, and that I got the same message, that others will ask for what they need. And the way it shows up for me is that I get that question 3 times. So either, are you teaching a certain class? And then it comes 3 times from 3 different people. And I know, okay, even if it's something that I haven't taught before, I'm like, okay, I guess it's my time now. And what I learned about that is that even if I don't have any information at the moment, or I hadn't planned to do it, or I wasn't thinking about doing or thought that that was something that I was going to do, the universe is saying, okay, you have what it takes, you have the information, you have the wisdom, you have the knowing, and we'll do the rest. So now I trust and I go with it. So,
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is when people ask you, I mean, it's the easiest way to do business, right?
exactly.
So if you have 3 or more people asking you, they're basically saying, yeah, people want to learn about this subject. It's like, oh, okay, I can do that subject. Thank you. You just made my life so much easier. I don't have to figure it out.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Debbi, how can people connect with you? And do you have a gift or anything that you want to share with the audience so they can have an experience with you, or anything that you want to share with them that would inspire them to move forward and continue leaning into hope?
I am rolling out some things that I've done before, but they're going to be new this year. And I love to have folks join me. So there's 2 things I'll be rolling out. One, I'm going to be doing a 5-day challenge on how to write your book. And you all know that feeling. If you have that book inside of you and you haven't done it yet, allow me to help you to get to the finish line of that, from idea inception to a published book. So my gift, highly recommend you sign up there, because that's how you'll find out about this. And then the second thing I'm also doing is a shamanic class. It's a 6-week healing experience where basically sit back and enjoy, because I lead the group through a 1-hour experience once a week for 6 weeks. If you have not experienced shamanic work, it is truly phenomenal. And it is said that we become so relaxed, our nerves calm down, clarity, trauma wounds get healed, and then it builds every week. There's an architecture where every week we build on what happened, right? What happened doesn't go away. That healing took place, and it gets more and more profound as we go forward. And then we're dealing with the elements in shamanism, which is so near and dear to my heart. The elements of air, fire, all of that, water, also the animals from the different directions, plus the Mother Earth, plus Great Spirit. And so they're all invited, plus the shamanic lineage, to do the work. So without giving those links out now, the free gift, where once you get into the system, when those roll out, you will be the first on the ground floor to discover and to sign up. And that is at my website, debbidachinger.com/gift. And I'm talking about, I've got a whole issuance of templates, so that, oh, it's so beautiful. I've had people do this who are actually in the business for a long time. What is your message? And they've said, like, these are proficient people have been like, when somebody asks me that, how do I say that in one sentence and it's articulate and everybody gets it and makes sense and they want to work with me? So I give you a literal template to fill in so you can start speaking your truth with ease. And then also there are videos. They're very short, but it's like the how-to. How do you get booked? How do you do podcasting? How do you start being a guest and all of that, so that you guys can start becoming way more visible, the reason why you're here. So it's debbidachinger.com/gift.
Beautiful. Thank you, Debbi. And thank you for being with us. And we look forward to having you on this show. And of course, there's other opportunities. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Make sure you take advantage of the gifts. They're very powerful. They'll help you solidify where you're going, your message, what's next for you, and also the magic of who you are. So thank you, Debbi, again. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Lots of love and namaste.